What's up guys, DuArktik here with another Raid the Shadow Legends video. In this video we are going to take a look at the new Fire Knight event. This is a turn attack, which means you have to beat the boss as fast as possible. And depending if you are doing Fire Knight hard or Fire Knight normal, well, there are certain characters that are going to be must-have for you to use in order for you to be successful on this type of events. As you guys can see, I already completed this, and it was with less than 1000 energy, which is absolutely amazing, right? Right now we are trying to save gems and energy for the upcoming events, so spending less than 1000 energy for this event was absolutely amazing. So I'm going to show you which are the characters that you should be considering gearing up if you are doing Fire Knight hard, and the other ones that you should be considering as well for this type of events. And most importantly, I'm going to show you the AI, how I use the AI from the game in order to farm this on auto without any kind of struggling or anything like that. So we are going to break down all the information that you need to know. And as always, if you like the information on these videos, make sure you share it to your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more Raid Shadow Legends content, and make sure you smash that like button like a boss. Okay, let's get started. Fire Knight. Less than 1000 energy. This is absolutely insane. What is the only not insane is we also have gear hunters or dungeon divers, and if you're gonna spend so little energy, then you have to farm somewhere else. But that might be not a bad thing, right? You spend less energy farming Fire Knight, but after you can spend more energy farming the dragon, which is usually a easier dungeon. So it allows you to have those choices. Okay. Taking a look at the characters that you have to take into consideration, we're also going to talk about gear sets, which I think is very important. The most important character that you want to use for Fire Knight is going to be Allure. Yes, Allure, she is way too strong, and it's because of her basic. Her basic turn rewinds the enemies if she crits, which is very important. She has to crit in order for you to do this. So when you are gearing her up, you want to make sure that you are using crit gloves. If you have 100% crit chance or 200% crit chance on her, that's good, because it doesn't matter her damage. What matters is that she applies all these crits. So she's the most secret weapon for Fire Knight. In terms of blessing, it's strongly recommended that you use Phantom Touch, because this is going to do additional attacks, and this will break the shield from the Fire Knight faster, unlike other relics. So this one in particular is good for Fire Knight. In terms of the masteries, it's not really important with the masteries, maybe some accuracy or something like that, but this is going to be extremely important. Tempus Sanguinis. The wearer's turn meter reduction effects are boosted by 15%. So this means that whenever you turn rewind the boss, he's going to get even more turn rewind because of this relic, and you can increase it for double, 30% bonus increase, which is absolutely insane. She's the most important character that you can use on Fire Knight normal and in all stages. Whether it is Void, whether it is Force, you should use her. The only secret is that you have to use Affinity Breaker set. This is something that you should always have, one Affinity Breaker set. If you go right here to my gear, we have the Allure gear. And there we go, we have the Affinity Breaker set that you can also use together with Uugo. The Affinity Breaker set, if I remember correctly, you get it from farming the Nether Spider, if the memory is correct. Let's see if you can find it. Bloodthirst, Fatal Untouch, Affinity Breaker. So yeah, it's from farming the Nether Spider. This is a dungeon that at the beginning can be a little bit difficult, I'm gonna be honest about it, not gonna lie. At the beginning, this dungeon can be a little bit problematic because of the lot of poisons and so on. But as soon as you find a solution, whether it is with the Meta to block the damage, or whether it is with the Doom Priest to clear the negative effects away, then it's gonna be much easier. So yeah, you should definitely at least have one set of Infinity Breaker gear with good accuracy and good speed, because those are going to be the most important stats for these type of characters. So whether it is you're the Meta or you're Allure or you're Uugo, and you can see here we have 250 accuracy around that, and we have around 260 or 270 speed. So You want to have numbers around those. Okay, so that's for Fire Knight normal. What about for Fire Knight Hard? So for Fire Knight Hard, you need to use characters that apply freeze on their basic. And this is going to be very, very difficult to obtain unless you are lucky and you get the right characters. So we're gonna search on my roster for all the characters that have freeze. So we have right here all the characters we have freeze. So Shirimani, she's nice, but she's a legendary. You have to be lucky to pull her. Gnut is amazing. He's probably the best character for Fire Knight. So if you are lucky enough to pull him, congratulations, you got Fire Knight figured out. Depending on the type you are facing, you might want to use Affinity Breaker on this guy as well. And then the two most important characters, in my opinion, is going to be Pan the Bowhorn and Neldor. These two guys are extremely important, because both of them apply freeze and they have a speed up mechanics and slow to the boss that is going to help your team even more. So this guy with his basic is going to attack twice and is going to apply freeze with a 50% chance, and he's going to give himself speed up. That means he's going faster and attacking more often. And he also has this last ability that attacks 3 times. And once again, you can use the Phantom Touch to remove the shield of the boss much faster. This guy is an absolute MVP and is really, really worth it for an epic character. He brings huge value to your roster, plus he's also good in faction wars and so on. With the Neldor, we have the same thing. He also attacks multiple times. He has a 40% chance to apply freeze, so it's a lower chance. But anytime that a character applies freeze, he has also an additional 30% chance to also attack again and apply a freeze again. So very important. You also want to use this guy with Phantom Touch. Both of these characters are based on attack. His second ability also attacks 4 times, which is the way you want to start your match. And the third ability attacks twice and applies slow. So even if he has 1 shield active, you can attack twice and apply the slow on the second attack. Even that this ability, you don't have to like book it up. The only thing that really matters is the first ability, the basic, and then the second ability as well. It's nice to have, but it's not super important. There are a few other characters that you can take into consideration. You have, I think this lizard, Broadmaw, he also applies freeze, but he only attacks 1 time. Then you have this guy, he attacks 1 time, also applies freeze. None of these guys are like MVPs because they attack fewer times than the other ones. So the characters you really, really want to focus on is Pan the Bowhorn and Neldor. If you get any of these characters, please save them, empower them, make them as strong as you can, because they are going to matter. Okay, we are going to take a look at some gameplay now, and we are going to use, in my opinion, the best setup that you can use for Fire Knight. So let's take a look. If you want to beat Fire Knight as fast as possible, this is the setup that you should be running. I'm going to show you on Fire Knight Hard. If you are playing on Fire Knight Normal, you just have to use characters that turn in wine like a lure. You don't need these characters with freeze. Okay, so we have 2 characters with freeze. We have Neldor and we have Gnut. If you don't have Gnut, use Pan the Bowhorn. It's pretty much the same thing because of this setup, how it works. You don't have to rely on insane RNG. So we have Fat Man for additional attacks of the entire team. Fat Man should be one of your fastest characters on your team. And then you want Donatello to be on the team as well, slightly slower than Fat Man. If you don't have Donatello, use someone that reduces the cooldowns that it's not Donatello. I don't know all the characters. I know that there are several of them epics and rare, even rare characters with lower cooldowns. So just look for those characters as they are going to be extremely important. And then we have Tolin for the damage. If you don't have Tolin, if you want to bring Michelangelo, is an option as well if you have Donatello. If you don't have, well, use Michelangelo anyway, because he attacks twice and he also tanks and decreases the attack and applies defense down. So Michelangelo is always a good option. And you also have Alice. You also have a bunch of other free characters. I think Lemonici, she also attacks multiple times. So it depends on what you have available. But the core is going to be Fat Man, Neldor, and Pan the Bowhorn if you don't have Gnut. Okay, in terms of the AI, this is how we are going to roll with AI. This is very important. So for the first round, Tolin is never going to use his second ability. And this is for all rounds, except the last one. On the last one, he's going to use all abilities, but on the first and on the second, he just uses the AoE abilities to clear up the waves. In terms of Donatello or any cooldown reduction character that you want to use, you want to make sure that they are not using any of their abilities, because you are going to need them for the last round. On the last round, you are going to attack with the basic. Fat Man is going to use his ultimate, his ability A3, and then you reset his cooldowns, and then Fat Man uses his A3 again. So that's the goal. You want Fat Man to use A3 back to back. With Fat Man, he's not going to use. He's going to use the A3 every round, but after the first attack, he stops. Right? That's the goal. And then on the last one, he starts with the A3, and he prioritizes the A3 as well. Neldor is going to do the basic and the second. On the second round, he's not going to do anything apart from the basic, and on the last one, he starts with the second ability, and then he prioritizes the ultimate to apply the slow, and then you are going to do the basics. Because you don't have books on this character, his cooldowns are going to be very long, so he's not going to do this often. And finally, we have Panda Bohorn or Gnut, which is going to do normal damage throughout the dungeons. Because on the last one, the only thing that matters is the basic and then the second ability, the special, to give speed up to himself. You can also start with the A3 if you want to remove additional charges if your team is not very fast. So that's another option. But with Gnut, if you have Gnut, then you want to use all abilities on the first round. On the second round, stop the third ability. And on the last round, you start with the basic, with the A1. And then you want to prioritize the A3 to destroy the boss as fast as possible. So very important to have this set up with the AI, otherwise it's not going to work as well as it should. Let's take a look at this team in action. So here we go. We have a big AoE damage from thanks to Fat Man doing all those increase AoE. It's massive AoE damage. This guy just shreds everything. Plus with Tolin always very good AoE damage. Even if you don't have him maxed out, he's still going to be pretty nice. Okay, let's take a look. We are destroying the enemies. You could also use, if your team is not as fast as mine, you can also use the second ability of Neldor, just to make sure that he's applying slow to the enemies, right? So you have some increased survivability. Okay, here we go. We are finishing up this wave. We got a little bit unlucky with that Geomancer, but that's okay. And now we are going to destroy the boss. So A2 to remove 5 charges. Then we have Fat Man attacking multiple times. Now we have Gnut removing the rest of the shield. Donatello with the basic. Gnut does a second attack. We apply slow to the boss. We have this guy doing a big smack. Now Donatello is going to give speed bar. We have the big damage from Gnut ultimate. If you don't have Gnut, Pen Born basic all the time. And now we have Fat Man doing all the attacks. We reduce the turn rewind, and there you go, it's over. That's pretty much it. So less than 50 turns, which is great, and this is going to give you 50 points, around that. So 51 points in this specific run, so it was better than my average, which was around 50. So there you go, this is the type of setup you want to use. Absolute MVPs, Neldor, and also Panda Bohorn. There is also this legendary Yakarl that you can get from the market, which is not bad. Is decent, is okay, but it's someone that you have to gear up, right? You have to gear up. It requires books. It already has 40% chance. So once again, it's not bad, but it's a legendary, and legendaries are usually more expensive to build up. But yeah, if you have this guy available because he is void, he's definitely going to be useful as well. So there you go, guys. Those are the MVPs that you should be using on your Fire Knight. If you are doing Fire Knight normal, use Allure. If you are doing Fire Knight hard, use Neldor, and also use Panda Bohorn if you have him, very important character. And if you have Gnut, then use Gnut because he's the absolute MVP. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to smash that like button, like a boss. And as always, if you liked the information on these videos, make sure to share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Raid Shadow Legends content, and I will catch you guys later.